According to Pornhub, in 2023, about 5.2 billion people visited their website in a month. This is alarming. Why are people visiting those sites? And what is the contributing factor to that? Today, we'll look at pornography and why are people attracted to it. My name is Monique, and with me here today, I have the beautiful psychologist, counselor, Perfect Odro, Mrs., the founder of Perfect Counseling Network. Counselor, you're welcome.
Thank you.
And of course, we have Babatounde, Layode Babatounde Ferdinand Rudolph. You're here with us again. You're welcome.
Thank you.
All right. So we go straight into looking at pornography. Counselor, is pornography an issue and why?
Thank you. Pornography is a big issue when we are talking about addiction. So first of all, what is pornography? One will ask. So pornography addiction. So it's a heightened dependence on erotic materials for pleasure. So if you depend on that, watching the pictures, and all that to give yourself pleasure, touching yourself without a physical person present, that is pornography addiction. You see, we watch it once, and as a counseling psychologist, when you come for premarital counseling, we add the guide to it, sexual guide to it. But if you depend so much on it to get the pleasure that you feel when you have with a partner, your sexual partner, that becomes an addiction. And we equate that to alcohol and opiate addiction. And addictions are not good.
So you equate pornography to drug abuse?
Yeah.
Wow. Is it a common problem with our children as well?
Very. It's a common problem because recently it was on the news that I think Ghana was topping the charts.
Oh,
yes.
right.
I think Ghana and Nigeria, they were competing topping the charts. So it means they are watching.
You mean among children or among adults?
Among adults, it wasn't specific, but it mentioned the country that viewed more of pornography materials online. And these two countries were having topping the charts. And you see, one thing is, it's not just the adults who have pornography addiction problem, but the young also. They also have it. So you see that the second cycle institutions, when we go around to do inspections and we pick their phones and you go through, the materials are more of that. They are more of that. As to other materials, videos, it's more about sexual content that you see. So you see somebody in the workplace with a limited Wi-Fi that is being provided, they just tap on it and be viewing. They always go to the washroom. We'll be coming to the science and that, so I don't want to jump the gun.
Thank you very much. So Babatounde was sharing with us earlier on about his addiction, and he wants to come out of it. And he was just saying to us that he started when he was 10 years old. Babatounde, how did it all start?
As I said earlier, I started with a dance, a kind of sexual dance called mapoka. Mm-hmm. Viewing that dance pushed my curiosity to know more about what is inside that material. And I started, as I said, I went to buy the disc and started watching, and I'm here today, very much addicted to porn. And since like 1 year thereabouts, I am becoming very much conscious about the damage that is causing to my spiritual and physical life. Yeah.
All right. So, Counselor, this is just to confirm what you said, that like young people.
Yeah.
So it's prevalent even among young people.
Yeah.
So what are the causes? Why even young people are addicted to this?
With the young people, mostly out of curiosity. When you mention he's 10, so he's watching the mapuka. Those who don't know the mapuka dance, it's dance with the waist. So you trace the waist like twerking. It's
okay.
actually like you twerk with, yes, local twerking form, like dancing bobo, vigorous. So a young guy and shaking the waist and all that. You see, you get attracted. And the men are so wild with it. What is so much in the ways that these people, so he's curious. He wants to know more. So it's a step. So you start 1, 2, 3, before you realize you are watching hard porn. You start reading just materials about sex, a little bit story, then it's there. They want to know deep what's really happened. Before you realize you are watching everything. And you don't, with that, it's something, when you do, you hide it. You don't want people to know that that is what you are doing. So one symptoms, you get excluded from society. You are always on your own because you don't want people to know that that is what you are watching. And it comes with masturbation. Watching pornography comes with masturbation. And masturbation is having its effects on your physique, your mental health, and your spiritual health too. You see, so the curiosity is one. And when they are adolescents, they realize that they are growing. They have urges. So if the sex education is lacking, they have these wet dreams, and the pastor sits in their church. Some of them tell them that somebody is sleeping with you. You are having spiritual marriage and all that. Whilst is the body getting off that. So you imagine that you dream that you are having sexual relationship with a female that you are attracted to in school. And you wake up and you see semen on your bed, and that doesn't mean any spiritual marriage or that. You are young. And your fluid, it has the limit is, I think it's 48 hours, it's full up, the semen and all that. So when you have that reaction and you don't have that adequate sex education to know that what I'm going through, it's normal. What I'm going through, I'm adolescent, it's normal. So when the edges come, I need to run, I need to read, I need to focus my attention on it, not to dwell on it. Your body will push you to release. And mostly it's watching the porn so that you can get excited to jerk off. Okay. You understand? Because men, they have the blue balls and all that, and it's quite painful. I'm not a man, so I think they can speak that.
All right. That's so deep what he just said. So he said he was watching a mapuka dance.
Yeah.
Does music with sexual connotations stir men up, or does it lure people or contribute to them wanting to see, or does it trigger their sexual desire?
Yes, it does. Music is a very important factor when it comes to pornography and sexual acts. So you see that certain music draws the passion, that passion in you. You want to do something, you want to engage something. Even certain music, when they start playing it, the rhythm, you start shaking your waist. Because that is it. So you start shaking the waist, and men are attracted by sight. So that region, you start shaking it, and he's there and he's watching you. The next thing he's thinking about is how to enter, how to release, because you are making him uncomfortable down there. So the music plays major effect. That's why you see we also use music for therapy when it comes to counseling. So certain music can distort your mind. Listening to metallic music even can distort your brain. So if you have a young child, certain kind of music, you don't play them around them. The hymn, the symphonias is much more calming and all that. So as a young person, certain music and even the lyrics in the music will not help. We know that certain music, the lyrics point to do something, do something, do something. So if we are not careful, we don't have that self-control, and it's not everybody that is having that, it will push you. So you can't go to the lady by you you can't propose to a lady. So all what you do is, for easy way out, let me watch it and get the feeling and the fun and everything, I go. Nobody sees me.
So doesn't this affect them? Because if they need an external thing to get them to have pleasure, doesn't it affect them? What are some of the effects in their life, apart from the other things you've talked about? You said music is a contributing factor, but they have to keep watching it to be able to release.
Yeah.
Does that affect them as they grow up, in their life?
Yeah, it does. So from the physical aspect, it affects their relationship. You realize that you can't have a meaningful relationship with your partner. If you have a girlfriend, you have a wife, you can't have that meaningful relationship with them because always you can't satisfy them as they want. So that sexual relationship that you have with your wife, your partner, you don't feel it. You are comfortable when you jerk yourself off. That is why some ladies too masturbate, it's not only men. So if they realize that their partner can't satisfy them that much, they will rather masturbate and do their own thing and have their orgasm release and they'll be there. So do your thing and let me finish myself off. But that is not how it is. Your partner needs to help you to reach there. So you realize that your relationship with people becomes a bit disorganized. So your girlfriends may be leaving, your wife might leave you because you don't have time for them. That connection, sexual connection, is not there. You can't bond because you have the porn. The porn gives you the pleasure that you want. So when they come in and all that, you can't. So sexual relationship. And because of they always want to exclude themselves to watch, they want to exclude themselves to go to the washroom to do their own thing, they are always isolated. Humans, we are not created to be alone. So God saw Adam, he saw that he was alone, he added Eve. So you need people around you. But if you start to exclude yourself, it affects you. Because the more you communicate with people, you socialize with people, it builds you up. Your happiness and all that depends on that. So if you start to exclude yourself, it's going to affect your well-being. So your work, you are not able to relate with your work people. You are looking anti-so, but you are not because of the porn that is making you that way. And you realize that you constantly masturbate. Pornography comes with masturbation. So excessive masturbation is going to lead you to weak erection. And no lady wants a 2 minutes, 1 minute guy. He can testify.
Yes. Babatounde. So Counsellor was just talking about isolation and pain that comes with erectile this because you masturbate. And he said ladies don't want a 2-minute man. Did you experience any form of pain like that while you were struggling with pornography?
Okay. I will go back a little bit about what she said about the dancing.
Okay.
A lot of music affects human being. For me to start being conscious about it, what I did was I isolated myself from a lot of things. Right now, you see my phone, you will not see Instagram, Twitter, Instagram and TikTok. Because it has come to the point that as soon as I enter this listen, when I start rolling, when you already have it, when you already have some content that you are looking, they propose it to you. Yeah. To overcome it, I just said, okay, let me isolate myself from these two for now. Maybe later I will retake them. Talking about the isolation is very true. Whatsoever she said is what happened. You isolate yourself because you don't want your conscience is telling you that people that are around you don't want to see that, and you live like you become lonely. You become lonely. She was talking about having a girlfriend, or it has become a very difficult challenge for me because I was not having. I start the relationship, it collapsed. It collapsed. Not because of a quick erection, but just because in my mind, I used to tell myself that the kind of lady I want is not the one I'm facing. Yeah.
Is it because of the images that you view?
By the way, yes. Sometimes, yes. Because I come to the, okay, I am at the point that sexual aspect of my life is a little bit far. And I expect more from the lady.
Counsellor?
Yeah.
He has come to a place where the satisfaction is so high and the person coming is solo.
Yeah, so with pornography, you are going to have unrealistic expectations during sex from your partner. You see, what you see with the pornography is not actually what happened during sex. They forward some of them, they add some of the orgasm, and they take drugs. So if you are watching the porn and you meet a lady and you want the lady to be swallowing and gagging on your rod, the normal girl will not want to gag, put it deep down and gag and all that. Will not want to swallow, doesn't want you to release on her face, does not want you to spank a lot. You see, when it comes to normal sexual relationship between a man and woman, a lot of things are restricted. But with them, it's not that. Okay. So what they see and the actual thing becomes a problem for them. That is why mostly they have relationship issues. Because when they are in the bedroom with you, they expect you to do more. But you can't do as they want it. Because what you see and it's not real. You understand? And the other aspect of this is the guilt factor. If he's going to acknowledge, you feel guilty. Nobody is seeing you doing it, but you feel guilty. And that is where the psychological and spiritual thing comes to play. See, when you feel guilty about it, it's as if you are not enough. Others are good, you are not good. But you can also open up to people because it's a secret sin. So when you are a very devoted Christian and you are battling with pornography addiction, when you go down on your knees to pray, you have the pictures coming. And you see, it's something that I've been watching for a long time. I have a client who told me that now he stopped watching it. With counseling and therapy, he stopped. So he watched and he masturbates. But his issue is now he's not watching, but he can imagine what he's been watching. So he doesn't need to watch. He just have flashbacks and he does it.
He's just smiling when you say that. Is that something you experience?
Yeah, daily basis. Yeah.
So the effect can be like what you just said. One of the effects can be like they feel guilty.
Yeah.
They isolate. And now they struggle with flashbacks, even in their social well-being, even their spiritual life. What are other effects? You mentioned earlier about 2-minute men.
Yeah.
Can you just elaborate on that?
You see, impotence, if you want to be potent in the bedroom, it all depends on a lot of things. But the more you masturbate, you jerk yourself, you must know that the male organ, the penis itself, it's a muscle. You understand? So the harsh pulling it, even if we're wife and you want to give hand job to your husband and all that, you don't do it vigorously. But with them, you see, they want to jerk, they want to be happy. So they tend to do it. Some use soap, some use shea butter, some use saliva.
Wow.
Yes. So you using all this and pulling it, the muscles are going to be weak. So you get to a time, you realize that you have the erection all right, but it's not strong.
Okay.
And you know, most ladies want a strong one that can last. So you'll be doing harm to yourself.
Okay. So what are the signs we should watch out for children and also in marriage? Because I know pornography is not limited only with children and singles, even in marriage. What are some of the signs that we should watch out for? Somebody
who is always addicted to the phone. They don't want you to check their phone. Sometimes they are not cheating on you. They don't have any side check. It's porn that is their side check. So what they are watching there, they don't want you to see. So their phone is every day is with them. If you don't take it, they will use it as a soap or in the bathroom. They are always with it. Because maybe if you click on it, you see the next video. And you see, as he said, they keep on upgrading. And they know the ones that is good. All right. If you ask them, they know the ones that is hardcore, one that is this, and they can tell you that this porn distributor is the one that they like because the females are good and all that. You see, it's because of the too much excessive addiction to porn of the men that is leading to most nowadays. Some women are going for this enlargement of their butts and their breasts and all that because when you watch the porn industry, they started with that.
Okay.
Because normally it wasn't that. But now with the BBL and whatever, it's now becoming lipo and whatever, sashing and all. Because they don't see, as he said, the normal lady doesn't appeal to them. So they want one that they see. And most when you watch this porn, they have the big butt and all that for their job. That is what they do. Their body, they use their naked body. So if you are marketing your product, you need to at least dress it well, nice. So that's the body. But if you are married, you are with your partner, a regular person, you don't need all those things. So because of a lot of men are addicted, and not just men addicted, the ladies now want to just be like the porn star for them, and which is affecting us. So if you see your husband always being addicted to the phone, it's not just, don't just fight him because he's seeing another girl. It might be porn. And if you see that he stays mostly with his computer late at night, when you are coming, he's dimming the light, and mostly in the washroom. You see them always going to the washroom. They want to seclude. When he's coming, you see that, and he's having tea roll, this around, he's having the gels and all that. Know that he's using it to help himself. He's with you and he's not that attracted. You start cuddling. You see, you were talking about cuddling and all that, and I was quite, it was a nice conversation you were having before the set. But you see, most Ghanaian men, cuddling means invitation to treat.
All right.
You start cuddling and they must do the do. Okay. So if you have a husband, you cuddle, you want to do something and he's kind of, I'm tired always, I'm tired always, I'm tired always, I'm tired. Maybe he's not having a side chick, but he's helping himself. So you should be more focused on him, try to ask him, try to also engage him to know his fears. Sometimes it's not just that they want to watch, they feel that they are not adequate. Something their size is not that adequate, something they don't perform well, so rejection and all that. So why don't I help myself? Instead of going out to propose to a girl, a lady, and me being rejected, let me help myself in my own corner. But it's not the best.
So we look out for men who love to spend much time on their phones.
Yeah.
They put some password that they go zap, 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 zap. Then also they are protective of their gadget, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And what about children?
Yeah, so
what are some of the signs that we look out for?
Yeah, a child who mostly want to visit the washroom or isolate themselves. So if you have a child and they are always in the bedroom and all that, it's best you pop on them unknowingly to check what is going on. And they don't have any that close friend attachment. When they are supposed to be in school, they are rather want to be at home and all that. You should be concerned. And all of us, if your child is sociable, all of a sudden they start to isolate themselves and realize that their hands are always around their pants area and all that. You should know. Wearing loose dresses and all that so that they can just sleep in and do their own massages. You should know. You should just be concerned. You see, and it's one thing that you can't find just written on somebody's face. You need to probe further. You need to be alert on them. And when you see it, it's best you don't guilt them because they feel guilty themselves. So you should use the love approach. Let them know that what they are doing is not acceptable, but you love them. You hate the acts, but you love them. So try to talk them out of it. Help them to understand. If you can't, get a professional person to help you. But don't shun them and bring them down and think they are demonic and all that. Things happen in life, but we mostly want to attribute it to the spiritual. Not everything is that.
So when we take them and then we go for deliverance ministry, they need to cast out the demon of that because we see that they are doing that. What's your take on that?
When you take them to the deliverance session, add psychology evaluation to it. Let them be talked to.
Let them be talked to
as well. Because deliverance alone, certain things the psychologist needs to set in. It might be something that they are facing. And mostly, you see, this pornography and all that, it is a sign to something that is going on. Maybe they are reacting to something. They are timid. Something is going on in school. They are being rejected by a guy. They think they are not low self-worth, low self-esteem. Something is going on. So you need to find the actual cause and deal with it so that they will help stop. But if you think it's just the pornography and you don't deal with him having that self-worth, that self-acceptance, he able to approach the other gender, having the right sexual orientation, they will still go back.
Baba, do you wish when you were young that you had an opportunity to talk with somebody when you started?
Yeah, I wish because she is handling the situation in very. I was just listening to her, and like as I said in the morning, sometimes you don't. What you need is just listening to a word for your problem to start getting a solution. And I think if I had a support when I was kids, I will never reach this stage, because I was, as I said in the morning, I was with my aunt, and the kind of education was very much ruled in such a way that that aspect, what isolated me is because I wanted to be alone. I was facing a lot of a hard time of my childhood, and all I want is to be alone.
So that
because
was
there's
an
nobody.
escape for you.
Yeah.
For the hard time. So the causing was the hard time that we're having. That caused you to just lie there to get some comfort.
Exactly.
So, Counsellor, it's not only to look at the pornography they're engaging. We need to dig deep, especially with our teens, pre-teens, to see what led them to that.
Yeah.
And do you think having a relationship with your parent can also help you?
Yeah, very. It's important. So as a parent, you need to educate your children about sex. I always say even as little as they are, because we have pedophiles and all that going on. So you let them know. When they are young as 2, they can recognize things. Let them know that we have the public part, we have the private part. So these regions that we mostly cover is our private parts. Nobody touches that. The outside, the legs, the face and all that, your head is your public. People can touch it. But even if somebody touches your hand in this way, come and tell me. So let the children know so that they can protect themselves. And as they grow, you give them age-appropriate sex education. Because sometimes because of education, the food, the diet and all that, and 8 years might be well developed, you see them. So you need to start early to tell them that this is what it is. So if you start feeling this is what it means. If you are 10 years, you have a 10 years male child, and you feel the urge and all that, this is what it means. If you don't educate your child, somebody in school is going to tell them that this is how it is. They are going to show them the materials. That it's best to always educate them. Be the first person to give them the right information, so that when the wrong information comes, they will know the difference between the two. And it's best you don't go telling them with the guilt and using God as a punishment for them. You see, mostly, if you do this, God will punish you. If you do this, rather preach the God of love to them. God loves you and He doesn't want you to engage in this. But if you rather use the guilt factor, you see, we have people who are true ones, who don't want to obey. So if this is what, then I'll do that one. So rather going in with the love, if you have a young child, start educating them and always identify the root cause of what they are doing. If your child, you see that they start with the pornography and watching and all that, get to know what is causing that. Are they having friends? You see, when you are young, you realize that you play with the opposite sex. It's okay, you don't see a girl and girl, you see the opposite sex, they have it. But during adolescence, they try to go to the male go to the male, the female go to the female. But that is the time that they want to single out one female or male that they like. It is normal, but if your child, a male child or female child, identify a male that he or she likes, or a female that she or she likes, and realize that the person is not proving, like to be friends with them, it casts on their self-esteem. So you, the mother, you need to go there and tell them that they are okay who they are. So you just go on in life, you meet somebody who is worth it. They are not too young to understand love relationship. Let them know so that they don't get themselves fixed in this situation.
Growing up as an African child, you know, they give names to, proper names to body parts, but
Yeah.
when it comes to your genital part, they give it a new, I don't know how they call it here, but for, if I say it in my language, you don't understand. They give it a scary names like a maggot or something, you know. So even that name already discourages you. When
Yeah.
somebody isn't a thing that you don't call out in public. So education, like you said, is very important, and teaching children age-appropriate sex education is also important. So Baba is recovering. He wants help. That's why he's here today, to share his story, his progress so far. But he's saying how and where does he get help, and what are the steps?
So for those listening, if you can't afford therapy, the first is you need to unplug yourself from all devices, things that cause you to the internet. So it's best the links that you watch and all that. You see, it's self-discipline. You need to have that self-discipline. You need to accept that I have pornography addiction and I want to stop. If you don't have it, if you don't know that for yourself, you can't stop. So now he has identified that he's having this and he's willing to stop. He needs to unplug. He said he's not on the social media networks that he's going to watch those things. He's backing out. It's good. You see, you take one day at a time. So you give yourself like a month. You have not watched anything. You celebrate 2 months, 3 months, then you keep on going. And you realize that if you have friends or you people that makes you to do that, you stop associating yourself or you reduce association with them, then you also need to be with positive people, people that inspire you. I always say that the church helps because you see the church, it's kind of singing, preaching and all that. So get a positive group. Try to mingle with people because if you isolate yourself, that is where the temptation comes. You have the data, then you realize, you launch on it and watch. Before you realize, you went wet. So get involved with people. Volunteer your time to help those people who are, just help. Be around people. Don't isolate yourself that much. And have somebody who understands you, open up to them, and constantly, if you have a challenge, talk to them. If you feel like clicking on it to watch, call them, talk it over. That addiction will go on. And even if you have watched it, talk to the person. You see, it's the dopamine that is, you get excitement from it. God created us unique in such a way that you have dopamine, we have things that take care of our happiness. We have things that take care of you being sad. We have, it's a lot that goes on. I don't want to bombard with the names and all that. So the more you do it, the more the mind take pleasure in it. So it's forcing you to watch it. But you always can control your mind. You should be mindful. So when the mind is telling you to watch it, because you have been watching it for a long time, try to replace that with something else. So if it's watching porn, try to put in earpiece of motivational songs or something to replace it. The more you do that, the mind is going to know that, okay, this is Baba is not going to give me this again. This is what I'm being fed with. So they are going to attach more to listening to motivational talk, the good music, and the inspirational speech. So that will help. Get something, whenever the thought comes, listen to that, and the mind is going to pick. Our mind is a powerful tool. It controls everybody. So tell your mind what you want. Don't let it direct you.
Baba, there is hope. So we know there is hope. Do you want to say anything to Counsellor regarding the steps that you should take, where you're on right now?
Yeah. Okay. The first thing is I want to say is thanking her for all she said so far, because I see myself in a lot of things she said, and the advice she gave is a very important thing. And one of the things she said is to isolate yourself from all this thing and adapt a new environment to yourself. For that one, I'm already trying it.
Very good.
I'm already trying it, okay, because I I isolate myself with all kind of. It's crazy. As she said, you have to have the decision to build your mind that you want to stop. I isolate myself for any kind of music, and most of the time, if I want to listen to music, is mostly religious music, any kind of even till date. I was watching movie the other time. After almost a year, it's just 2 days ago that I watched one movie. After watching it, a friend of mine gave me a link of this in Netflix. After watching it, that particular music, I want to that particular movie. I want to continue watch another one. As soon as I get there, I see the content, my brain starts coming back, and I said no. I just off the laptop, and I think the issue I have with whatsoever she said is I isolate myself from Instagram, TikTok, but this is me using Google as a working tool. And it has been very difficult for me to isolate myself from it. How can I combine these two? Still using Google as my working tool and controlling that aspect of me, because it's the only thing that I try using some app to not take me there. But I realized that at the time, it will come the time that I will even off the app and continue. And now I totally want to stop because it is destroying a lot of things in my life. And as you said, having a relationship has been a very tough problem for me. And right now, I want to have one, and I want to move on with my life. Yeah.
You are using Google as your work tool?
Your work tool.
So mostly it's better you, as I said, the mind. You should be strong with the mind so that you don't type in the website that will lead you there. But I also prefer you check with the mental health or the psychiatric unit, because anxiety has underlying pornography issues. Depression also have hypersexuality, sometimes comes with it. So you must let them have the full evaluation, whether if you are not disposed to any mental health disorder. Personality disorders also can have issues with pornography. It's a broader thing, and we have medication also that they use for alcohol addiction and those drug addiction and all that. So medication also can help you. But now we are moving to a lot of talk therapy. We do the therapy more because of side effects of these drugs, but mostly it's the willpower. So I'm very happy when we are talking, it's like you have identified it and you want to stop, and we're putting in the measures. The next place you just stop. So it's a gradual process. You should know that you can't just get off it just once. It will take, it's baby steps, but you are going to be there. So just be focused and have people who are going to guide you. And I'm going to get your number so that from time to time you can call on me and I'll check on you if things are going on well. By one track.
Thank you very much, Counsellor. It is indeed true that pornography is an addiction and it's difficult to talk about it. But there is help available. You need to have a support system that is very effective, and with that support system, they will take you through step by step, and you be able to celebrate the victory over pornography. It is possible. Remember, you are fearfully and wonderfully made. Stay safe, stay positive. Thank you.